real estate agents, and welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host, Joey Sampaga. He is the man with the plan. You have a plan today?
I have a plan.
You always have a plan.
We have an awesome plan today.
We do. Actually, we have an amazing guest with us today.
Yes,
it's Shannon Milligan, and she's all the way from Richmond, Virginia, and Shannon Milligan is with RVA Home Team, brokered by eXp Realty. How are you doing, Shannon?
Great. I'm excited for this. Thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I'm excited to hear how some of the things you've been doing, what it's doing for your business now, too, because you've been consistent with a lot of your messaging out there and the tools that you've been using. So I'm excited to hear how that has transpired for you, or how you've transformed, I guess, into the Shannon of today, if you will. So
I'm excited to share, so it'll be good.
Great. Well, I tell you what, why don't we start with how long you've been in real estate and what got you into the business in the beginning?
I've been licensed for about 8 years, but I've been in the business for, over a decade. In 2005, I went and I worked for 6 Caldwell Banker offices in upstate New York as their marketing associate. And to the business is we had to sell our Syracuse home, and I had to hire one of the agents out of our brokerage, and I had to pay a $20,000 commission, and I did all the marketing. And I didn't do the negotiation part, but I did a good chunk of it. And I thought, well, I'm really good at this, so let me go and learn the negotiating part, the contract work. So I then went and worked for a big team in Northern Virginia as their office mate to work the mail room up, because I already knew the marketing. So then I learned the contract. So when we moved to Richmond, Virginia in 2010, 2011, I just went full-time. A little while to get my feet off the ground because, I didn't know anyone when we moved. But 2012, I sold my first home. I sold 3 homes that year. And then the next year, I sold 30.
From 3 to 30?
I sold 30 the next. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a big increase.
Blogging, man. I was a blogger. And so when I didn't know anyone, I thought, well, what can I do? So I blogged every day for, maybe 1 or 2 blogs a day for a couple years. And about a year and a half into 2 years in, the blogging took off. And so I started blogging in 2011. So it makes sense that in 2013, the floodgates opened up because other people weren't doing it at the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So blogging, obviously written blog back then. Was it about Richmond then, or was it mostly about real estate?
It was a little bit of both. So as I was discovering things, I would blog about it. But a lot of it was about real estate because I was a brand new agent and I had questions. And so anytime I had a question, I figured, well, the consumer probably is curious about this too. So I was really addressing a need that hadn't been met yet by taking this to the consumer. Got
it. And now fast forward, right? I think we met through the Snap Pack Real Estate Group on Facebook, and then I started seeing you doing these Facebook Lives on Wednesday evening, where you were having fun with a little drink in the hand and a message, not even about real estate necessarily, right?
I touched on it. It was called Wind Down Wednesdays, and I did that because of Gary Vee. I was following him, and he said, you need to be the digital mayor. And I thought, well, what can I do on social media to grab some attention? And so I thought, well, I like wine, so I'll sit down and I'll drink. And the funny thing is I talked about like 2 hot topics, right? Something that was in the news of what was going on, and everybody has an opinion, and they just want to know at the end of the day, people just want to know that they're heard and that they're seen. And so by me asking those questions, and let them know that I hear them. And then for a while, I was doing little real estate trivia games in there, and that took off. And so I was getting 200, 300, 400 comments. And then I did that for a good 9 solid months. And then I thought, here's why I really quit. So you and I were chatting a little bit offline. The reason I stopped doing it is, and this woman goes, oh my God, you're that Wind Down Wednesday girl. And I had this moment of, I didn't want to be known for drinking. And I don't think that that's what she knew me as, but it shifted to, okay, how can we make this more professional?
Got it. Well, is that the story of the lady that found you in the grocery store? Because I know you said people started recognizing you around town.
No, that was a different lady. My videos have since really heard of that. We go into a bar and somebody says, oh my God, you're the Stranger Things girl. I saw that video. Let me introduce you to my wife. I made her watch it. Or the other day, my husband's employee was shopping and somehow they started talking about real estate and the woman says, oh, well, my realtor does these videos. And this girl goes, oh, well, that's my boss's wife. That's her. And it was just this, things happen where people start to recognize you. And it just means that things are working the way they're supposed to. It's a little uncomfortable, but it means it's working.
Yeah. So with Wind Down Wednesday and doing the Facebook Live, Joey and I do a lot of classes around the valley here, and people or real estate agents are very hesitant to wanting to do those. They don't want to put themselves out there, or maybe they're afraid to go live. How hard was it or difficult was it for you to get started with that? I mean, did you just start one day, or did you have to really kick yourself in the butt to get started because you were procrastinating and putting it off?
I just started. I am one of those people that I will act in spite of my fear. And so, but I'm also somebody that knows that people want to work with people that they know, like, and trust. And people innately want to help other people. So my very first wind down, I went on and I said, remember, guys, this is when live video on Facebook just came out. Nobody was doing it. And I said, guys, I'm terribly nervous to be on here. And people cheer you on. They want to help you succeed. And so by, 3 or 4 times doing it, I was like, okay, this is fun. These are my friends. They support me. And, and it turned acquaintances into friends because they got to know me a little better. So, you're always going to have that fear, and you have to act in spite of that fear. You have to just do it. What was the worst thing that could happen, right? Like, they didn't like me. Okay, no big deal. I move on to something else.
And it gets easier after the second glass of wine, right? No,
For sure.
I'm just Now, the videos you're doing...
One of the reasons wine was there.
There you go. Some of the videos that you're talking about, too, you've gotten very creative with your videos. What led to that, and why did you feel like you needed to really push the limits with some of those?
So two things led to it. One, I met with a videographer that wanted to sell me 360. Those suck. Nobody likes those. They don't share them. Sellers think they're cool because they're fancy, but they don't sell at home. And then the change in the environment of real estate. So you and I talked about Open Door and Purple Bricks and Homey, and Zillow's now becoming a brokerage in some areas. And so I thought, well, I have to show my value now more than ever. How am I going to stand apart? So when that guy asked me, the videographer, do you want to do these 360? He said, well, what if we tried these videos? And so we did very boring walkthrough videos. And one day I just, hey, what if we try this? And I simply acted like I was Goldilocks going to, this house is too big, this house is too small. And then I got in front of my listing that I was showcasing, and I was like, this one is just right. It was like a 30-second intro. And it took off. And then after that, I topped that. And now I just have fun. I storyboard. I write all the scripts. Like, it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying myself in real estate again.
That is awesome. And now you also, instead of the Wind Down Wednesdays, you now are doing a live show on Tuesdays and Thursdays, correct?
Yes. So on Tuesdays, I go live on my business page and I speak to buyers, which I'm going to do today. The topic I'm talking about today is a viewer requested topic, so that's kind of cool. And then Thursdays, I speak to sellers. And again, I just address, when you can address somebody's fears and their needs and their quench their need for knowledge, you are their go-to. You are their expert. You are their digital mayor. And so that's what I'm doing, and I do it on my business page. It used to be that person on Facebook under contract, writing an offer, sold, nobody cares. Unless it's their house, nobody cares. So I do it on my business page. I will share it to make a big deal about it. If somebody needs the info, they'll see it. But if they don't, then great. But yeah, I go live at least twice a week on my business page, and I'm probably looking to up that an extra time because I believe, like one more day a week, I believe that Facebook is rewarding me, showing me more to people, and because of the algorithm, because I'm providing content for their platform.
Got it. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, one for buyer, one for sellers. I love that. And you say you go to your business page. So I see a lot, especially out here. I don't know if you see it back on the East Coast there or in Virginia. We have a lot of agents that seem to inundate their personal profiles with a lot of real estate stuff. Do you see that back there too?
I do, and it drives me nuts. It just drives me crazy because, again, nobody cares. And the reason that came to pass is somebody called me once, and I was like, I don't need this, right? Like, nobody cares until they need it. So it's a delicate balance between staying top of mind with somebody, but also being in their face. And, my favorite, and I'm sure you've gotten these, but, Rodan and Fields or It Works or whatever they're selling, instant Facebook friend, okay, I'll accept you. And the next thing I know, hey, girl, you looking to blah, blah. And I'm like, no, you're doing it wrong. So I actively took a step back, and I don't post like writing an offer, right, under contract or whatever. And I come much more from a more humble and grateful place. And then when I do post something, people really get behind me and support it because it's not an everyday thing. It's not an every week thing. Every couple months, I'll write something like, you know what, we closed 8 houses this month, and I'm really proud of us. And people they can get behind that. They can't get behind humble brags every day, every week.
Right. No, I love that. Yeah, we see it a lot. And I thought Facebook was going to be making some changes anyway. I think they're a little bit behind schedule because of all the scandals that have been out there. But, there was talk that they were going to start making it, well, I guess, putting you in potential Facebook jail or something if you're always talking business. And I know we're not supposed to, right, on our personal profiles, but it just seems like, I can go on a couple agents I know in the Valley. 7 out of 10 posts are all real estate. And, I'm waiting for Facebook to make those changes, but it's been taking a while.
Though I'd rather be ahead of it when they do it and not find myself in Facebook jail. And here's the crazy thing. I talk about business every day on my personal page. You just don't know it because I'm building relationships. So yesterday I asked about winning the lottery. Go look at how many comments I have. The day before I was like, oh, look at my beautiful dog. I was just staring at my dog and I'm like, I love her so much. And I took a picture and I'm like, show me yours. That is business because people want to work with people they know, like, and trust. And so you don't have to be, I sell real estate. People know that I sell real estate. It's that 80-20 rule, right? Like I see it. My phone number's in my profile. It says mom, wife, realtor, something like that. And then I have a quote. You only get out of life what you have the courage to ask for. And then it has my phone number. People know what I do. I'm not a secret agent, and I don't need to hit them over the head with it every day.
Yeah, no, I agree. Totally agree. So what do you see next for you? As far as, are you growing a team? Are you, you said you might even add a third live stream. Do you have an idea for what that might be?
So I might add a third. I'm not sure. That's probably going to be more market update. As for the team, I have a buyer agent. I can see one more person on the team. But you also have to look at your business and know what you want for you. My husband calls it your woody woofy. What do you want for you? I don't want a 10, 15 agent team. For me, it's about the relationships, and then you lose some of that when you have that big of a team. So I like it 2, 3 people, 4 tops. That's including an admin, buyer agent, maybe one other person, and then myself. And then, we were doing the Destination RVA videos for a while where we were highlighting our community. I will be going back to something like that. The reason I stopped is you still have to sell real estate. And so I got smarter about it. Here's what I plan to do. I plan to, when the market slows down a little bit, which it's starting to do now, I want to go film 8 or 9 over 2 or 3 days, have them in the can, and then come out with one every month or every 2 weeks. so that you're not rushing in this busy spring market like, oh no, I can't do this, I don't have time, which is what happened. So, you fail forward, you figure out what didn't work, and then you pivot. And that's the difference between a successful agent and one that's not. In anything, whether it's video or whatever you're doing, you have to be able to say, okay, that didn't work, and I'm going to get back up and try again. Not afraid of failure. And I think that's why a lot of agents, they're so afraid to get back up and try again. And so I realized from, doing that, okay, this is what we have to do better.
Yeah. Good. Okay. So you mentioned the market, potentially slowing or seeing a shift happening. I remember seeing a video that you posted where you said something about the days of hiring your brother's cousin or something. I don't remember what it was, are over because you need somebody that can actually market your property. So I thought that was genius to say. Did you get some people comment about that or say, yeah, way to go, or reach out? Or
I received a couple Facebook messages saying, hey, I saw your video about the market shifting. This is what I'm experiencing. Listen, a lot of times I'm not the first agent hired, right? Like a lot of times I'm the second agent hired because they're seeing my videos. Their house isn't selling right now. I'm giving them the information that their current agent is not giving them, but I'm not soliciting them, right? So they will then come to me saying, okay, what you just said makes sense. And when this is over with, we want to come hire you. And a lot of times, some of them try to break their things. I don't tell them what to do, but I'm often the second agent in because I'm giving them the information that they need. And I'm having the tough conversations with them. And so, yes, I said the other day, marketing will never be more important than what it is in a shifting market. And I firmly believe that. And sellers, they're so used to right now, and this is the other thing that drives me nuts, agents have been saying on Facebook and social media for the past 8 months, under contract, multiple bids, $10,000, $15,000, $30,000 over. We just trained people to be frustrated with us when we don't sell it in a day or a week. We're back to 30, 60, 90 days on market, depending on the price point. And so that's our fault because we trained them that. So with this, you have to have the tough conversations, and just showing your worth is going to be more important than ever because you're going to have great marketing for those longer days on market. A monkey could have put a house on the market in April, May, and it would have sold. Now it's about showing your value. Yeah,
absolutely. So for agents that are watching or listening to this, if they're sitting there thinking, well, I've really been contemplating starting a weekly show or using Facebook Live or starting to use video, what would you tell? I mean, what's one tip you would tell them to get started?
So you can make a group with just your family. So if the biggest thing that I find why people don't do it is fear. They're afraid to be on camera. So you can make a little group with your family and you can go live in there, get used to it, or with your closest friends, or maybe you get a group of other agents that want to do this too and they're afraid, and you can go in there and you can critique each other, whatever. The camera was Snapchat. When I was first on it, nobody paid attention to me, and so I could delete it or I could do whatever. I would just say that you need to get started now. If you don't get started now, you're going to be left in the dust in a year. Do you believe that's going to happen? And you just got to not be afraid. I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen? All right, you screw up. You know what happens sometimes when I screw up? I either make fun of myself and keep going, or if nobody had been watching, which you can see, I'm like, screw it, I'm going to delete it, and I go live again. And, live's a little trickier because you do have to, and I make notes. I'm not afraid to refer to my notes. I actually think it makes me look a little smarter. So I organize my notes first, and then it makes you internalize things. And so when I go live, it is a hot mess when I don't write out the notes, and I've only done that twice, and I will never do that again.
People don't like the hot mess edition?
Sometimes they do, because they like the realness, right? When you
absolutely.
can make fun of yourself and all of that. But every once in a while, I'm like, this is a serious topic. I don't want that, so I'll delete it if nobody had been watching. But if people are watching, I'm like, okay, keep going. And the other thing is, do not worry about, I don't care who watches me live. It's about the replay, people catching it on replay when at their leisure. I'm consistently getting, and people might not think this is a lot, but 200 to 500 views on each little Tuesday, Thursday video I do. Me, because that means those people are people that actually want it. I'd rather reach 1 or 2 people that actually need the information than thousands that don't care.
Right. Absolutely. The right audience, right?
Correct.
What times are you doing your shows then? I mean, since it's better, since you're going to get mostly the replay, views, I'm assuming you do it during the day then. You don't try to do something in the evening time anymore when more people are possibly on Facebook, right?
So I gave myself some grace, and I allowed myself to do it whenever I want on Tuesdays and whenever I want on, because life gets busy and I still have to work. As long as I'm consistent, I feel like that's good. Now, is it at night? Typically, no. I try to do it during the day, but I'm not going to lie. There have been times I've been on my sofa in my PJs, and I'm like, oh, crap, I didn't go live today. And I run over to my phone, and I do it in my PJs, and I was like, I told you guys I come live on Tuesday, and it's Tuesday night at 8 p.m., and I forgot, but here I am because I do what I say I'm going to do. I've done that, and people respect that because you're keeping your promise that you were going to do this. They come to count on you. And even if you don't think people are watching, trust me, people watch on those replays.
Yeah. I've noticed that too with some of ours, that you may have somebody that watched, maybe they didn't comment then, but they'll send you a private message because they watched
all the time.
Yeah.
Tons of private messages. And it's usually, a lot of times, like I say, it's from other agents as well, right? So don't think that it's just the consumer. I get a ton of business from agents referring to me because guess what? They got to know, like, and trust me. They like what I'm doing. They know that I'm pretty smart with what I'm saying. And so I get a lot of messages from them, either, hey, I got a referral for you, or hey, I've been thinking about doing this. Can you give me some tips? Always happy to answer that too.
That's great. Thank you so much for joining us today. This has been great information.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Absolutely. Well, why don't we transition over? Are you ready to get in the ring? Well, I'll ask you a few extra questions.
Okay.
All right. How about what's your favorite mobile app?
I really like Facebook. I mean, that I live on it. If you look at my usage, that's going to be 100% where I'm at.
Got it. All right. Do you have a favorite book, like a book recommendation for the agents out here?
The One Thing by Gary Keller is great. It just really makes you focus, and it's for everything in your life. Focus, you master one thing, and then you move on. I love it. And you do the hardest thing first, and then the rest of the day is easy. I just summed up the book for you, but. There
we go. No, that's great. And we'll ask one final question. How about, let's see, let's just make something up here. What about, who's your favorite superhero and why?
Myself. I don't watch superhero movies and that sort of thing. My daughter likes Wonder
that was a bad
Woman,
question,
we
huh?
watch that together. I don't.
Yeah,
I just don't.
ask
I
another
don't
one.
watch. Yeah, where?
How about if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would it go? Where would you go and why?
Oh, okay. So we're big on this because we've become huge travelers. We want to go to China, and we're probably going to go there when my kids are 15. They turn 12 this year. We want to go walk as much as we can, just a portion of that. I just think the food and the culture, I'm all about traveling. We just went to Italy and Switzerland last year. We went to Ireland this year. I love travel. We're going to Costa Rica. That's my jam, and that's why I do what I do. You're at Keller Williams, which I used to be, and they say that it's a life by design, and working is to fund the perfect life. And so, as much as I'm a workaholic, I will take some time off to travel. I'm doing deals in Ireland and all that kind of stuff, but man, Australia's up there, New Zealand, that sort of thing. How about you? Where would you go?
That's great. I think we would like to go over to. Yeah, no, I think that my wife and I and the kids even would like to go to Bali. I think would be a place we'd like to go see.
Oh.
And then Tahiti, I think, is another place.
That's cool.
Yes, I'm going with you.
There you go. We can do real estate business, right? From anywhere.
We can write it all out in business.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Meet with an agent here or there, or go see a house. No.
There you go.
No, this is great. Thank you so much, Shannon, for sharing. And, gosh, it's making me want to go do some live streaming.
I got to go do mine because it's Tuesday. So.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Exactly.
Tuesday. Better let you get to it. Well, thank you so much for being on. We appreciate it. And until next time, guys.
I appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely. Until next time, this is Jeff Underwood.
And Joey Sampaga and Shannon Milligan.
Yes. Real Estate Marketing Maniacs here at Security Title Studios. See you later. Thanks, Shannon.
Adios.